Section 4. The Attributes of God. 1. God is absolute, unique, unchanging and eternal. These are his 4 attributes. Accordingly, every one of his creations is absolute and unique. Because each entity is absolute, God wants to place it in its own absolute position. That is why all entities are unique and do not randomly intermix. The way of love is unique and, therefore, unchanging and eternal. God's main attributes. 2. God is absolute, unique and unchanging. Based on this, one should become the subject partner of absolute love, unique love, unchanging love and eternal love. Such a person becomes a representative of God. One who reflects God's attributes can become his representative. With what did God endow his partners when he created them? He endowed them with creativity that is absolute, unique, unchanging and eternal. He gave them absolute creativity rooted in love. God's love is absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal, and through that love we share his suffering and his joy, and participate in everything with him. We thereby inherit everything from him. If we have the love of the absolute God, we become the object partners of the absolute God. 3. God is absolute, unique, unchanging and eternal. To unite with him, we likewise have to be absolute, unique, unchanging and eternal. Then and there, eternal love can begin. We can be perfected as men and women only through a life relationship that is eternal. We become eternal true men and eternal true women only when we go through a process of growth and settle in the position that is absolute, unique, unchanging and eternal. Then we become the unchanging owners of love. This is where love is perfected, where the life of a man and a woman unite. At the same time, they come to create a new life, connecting to a new relationship of lineage. 4. God exists centered on love. Therefore, God's absoluteness is centered on love, his uniqueness is centered on love, and his constancy is centered on love. All of them are centered on love. The attributes of love are also absolute, unique, unchanging and eternal. All people want such love, absolute love. Absolute means there is only one. So we know that God's nature is absolute, unique, unchanging and eternal. 5. Love unfolds in mutual relationships. Therefore even God, who is absolute, has to be absolutely obedient in front of love. Otherwise he would not be able to teach human beings about the core principle of relationships. God wants to teach Adam and Eve, your conjugal love is absolute, you cannot change it. For eternity. Why? It is because they are the manifestations of God's attributes. God is one, absolutely not two. Adam is the manifestation of God's attributes, and therefore he is an absolute being. Adam manifests God's male attributes, Eve manifests God's female attributes. These attributes themselves are absolute. Love brings together internal and external attributes. As such, love is absolute, and that is why even God absolutely has to obey absolute love. Hence, the couple that appears with this absolute love is one and only one, not two. It is absolute, and at the same time, unchanging and eternal. 6. The goal set up by God, the Creator, cannot change. God is the center of each person's conscience and the objective of all people's hope. No matter how much time passes, no matter what course history takes, he can never change. Before eternity and after eternity, God cannot change. That is why God said, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Rev. 22:13.